Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm doing a review on the NextGen 12. It's been almost a year, we're a month off a year since I first got it, and I figured I'd do a long-term review now that I've had plenty of opportunity to take it out and see how good it is, the pros and the cons, and yeah, just thought I'd do a video just to let you know. Anyway, let's get into it. I'll take you for a squizzy around the kayak first. There's a couple of extras that I have on there, like the bar rail system that doesn't come as standard, or the horizontal rod locker tubes. However, you can purchase those aftermarket if you are interested in that kind of thing. Right, so, all right, I've had the NextGen 11.5. I've had two of them actually, the first version and second version, and then this one was launched, and I was very lucky to get my hands on the pre-production model when it first came out to trial and see what I thought, and yeah, I ended up falling in love with it, needless to say, and this ended up being my one and only kayak. So let me tell you all the pros first. So you would have seen other videos that I have in relation to the way the hull is designed. It's very sharp in the front, as you can see, and it's designed to cut through the water really well and track really well. And even though it tracks really well and is 2 centimeters narrower than the 11.5, the engineering and design that they've gone into the actual overall kayak has made it super stable. So I am very comfortable and confident on jumping up on my feet at any time when I'm in this kayak, and it is super stable. And I'm not a light bloke, I'm quite heavy. So at my heaviest at 105, I was standing up in this kayak confidently, and it was loaded with a heavy battery and a kayak trolling motor. So it's definitely got a lot of grunt when it comes to weight capacity. So I really love that. Underneath the kayak, you would have seen in my comparisons to the 11.5 and 12 video, I show you under the kayak side by side to give you an idea of the engineering and the new design that's gone into this to keep it and make it stable. So I won't get into that, but I love the idea of a pod system. And the reason why I love these pod systems, where you can actually plug and play, take them out, is Kayaks2fish offer you the opportunity to put various different pods in there. You can put one that's called a brag mat pod, and that pod actually can put storage in, and it completely closes this area, and it just gives you the opportunity just to have more storage. And you use that pod if you are motorizing your kayak and you don't need the pedal drive to use it. So I think they've also got a different kind of a pod that incorporates a trolling motor that you can use in there as well. So it's very adaptable, and it gives you a lot of opportunity to grow and make changes. One of the big things that I absolutely loved from the get-go was the horizontal rod locker that they've got. So what it does is, obviously you buy this one as an extra, but you can just screw it straight into the body. And when you are in transit or in between fishing, I find putting the tip of my rod into there easy, and then the butt comes back here and just sits in here for me. And then if you want, you can actually lock it into place with the bungee as well on the other side, and it just comes through and into the rod tube. They did have dual rod locker systems. I'm going to move this. They had dual rod locker systems here, and I ended up moving them. I've replaced it with these plates that I've made up myself. I just got a grey cutting board and cut it out, and I ended up obviously closing that off, because what I want to do is I want to use it for wiring. So I'll use those boards there to put some USB chargers and 12-volt chargers in there to use for my action cameras. It's also good to mention that these particular dual rod lockers that they had and currently do have, they're a really good idea to store your rods in and all that. But I found that there was a few people online saying that when they go to wash their kayak at the end of their session, when they use the hose and they're pointing the hose in that direction and they're flooding this area, that water would get into the hole. So although that's not a stereotypical environment where water will come in because you've got the hose directed at it, I didn't need the rod locker, so I decided to make sure that I utilised the area for wiring boards. So that's what I've done with there. Now you'll notice that I've got the foot pedals. These are another aftermarket thing that you can get through Kayaks2fish. They're awesome foot pedals that can lock into different areas and that unlock. I use them for my kayak trolling motor to steer. And yeah, I'll show you the rear as to how that works. As you'll notice, you've got these premium railing system. They've got a higher seat. Now you would think, oh, you're sitting up pretty high. The first thing I thought was it's going to be tippy, but I can tell you, hand on heart, it's not only not tippy, it is so much easier to get up off your chair and stand on your feet having that height, and it definitely doesn't feel tippy whatsoever. So I love the fact that they've raised it so considerably, so I don't have to actually raise it any further. Underneath here, they've got storage areas where you can put you've got a couple of options. You've got a storage bin that you put in here, and it can slide in and out. You can actually pimp up your chair where you can put I think they call it a tackle caddy that attaches to here, and you can put your little tackle boxes in here and then still have your storage underneath. So it's fantastic for storage. This particular kayak, one of the new designs that they put into it was they incorporated a live well. So this is the live well, and when you're out there, you can actually leave the scuffer plug out, and it just fills up with water and gives you an option there for live baiting. What else? Down this scuffer plug is the transducer well, where you mount your transducer under the bottom of the kayak. Tackle storage, I removed the bungee just because it's easier for me just to place my gear down without having the bungee there. It's what you call stabilizer ready. You can mount it into these areas here. but I don't use it for that purpose. I've put these in there for my lines for the electric motor. Another big thing which I absolutely love is they've got these access hatches now, one in the back here and one under the seat. And these access hatches give you the opportunity to get all your wiring and cabling into the kayak without drilling into the actual body, but just the plate. So at any time, if you want, you can actually change over the plate if you don't want to have those previous holes that you would have put in there. With the grab handle on this the 12 I should say, it's instead of horizontal, it's vertical, and they've done it ergonomically just because when you are lifting up weight, this is by far the strongest for the kayak and easiest for you. So I love that little tweak and design that they've done. So whenever I'm lifting it up and down, it's so much better. So I'm not putting pressure if it's coming out this way and lifting it up. This is where the steering lines come through to come into the motor, and it's obviously rear motor ready. So you can just put your bolts in and put your mounting bracket there and put I had the NK180 and it was absolutely a dream on here. You've got your rudder system here, your steering system here, and it has an amazingly big rudder on the bottom. So just turning it left and right is incredible because the rudder moves the kayak like it's on rails. I'm just gonna take this out. This is my the line that I have to. So basically, I just lift up that and release, and then lock it back in. And what it does is the rudder comes down here. You can see it, it's a beast of a rudder, it's huge. And its turning authority is incredible. So it really helps you get out of tight spaces whenever you are on the water. So absolutely love the rudder system. It's a beast. Overall, definitely my favourite kayak that I have purchased to date. I only have a couple of things that if I had my time over that I would suggest different. So I'll go on to the negatives that I've experienced, but at the same time are easy fixes. So let's have a look-see. As I mentioned to you before, you've got the horizontal rod locker, and although it wasn't a game changer at all, I wasn't really going to use them. So using this method is a lot more effective for me. And you can buy plates now, from what I understand, from Kayaks2fish. At the time when I made these, they didn't have them available, so I made my own. But apparently some people found that they would get water in there, and it was usually after when they were cleaning their kayaks, just because of the, I guess the cover that would go over with a rubber seal over the top would open up, and it wouldn't create a perfect seal, and so water could get in. But again, that's just because of the way you're washing the kayak. So I could consider that a negative. What else? Small things that I've noticed that aren't really a negative, you just need a little bit of a tweak, is when you put your pod in here, if you put it in as is, you'll find that there's a little bit of play back and forth and front and back. And that little bit of play can sort of be annoying while you're using your max drive, because it's just moving awkwardly because of that play. It's only a small thing, but you may notice it. So what I did is underneath inside here, I got myself a really small, I think it was close to maybe a mil gasket foam, and I put it around the interior on the bottom. So now when this goes sliding in, it just snugly sits in, so there's zero movement. So it's a very basic, easy fix, but obviously it's something that I did later on to make it just perfect. The other thing is, in here you'll notice I've got that there's just a little bit of a piece of foam, another mil on each side. When you put the max drive into it, the pod, you'll find that it'll rock back and forth, just got a little bit of play. So by putting the foam there, it sits nice and snug and it's cushioned either way. So there's less movement, which I found was really good once I'd done that. What I would like to do is I'm going to quickly put the phone down and remove the seat, because I'm going to show you the access hatches that there was a couple of times where a little bit of water would leak through. So I'll show you what I did to counteract that. So bear with me. I'm going to turn the phone off now and remove this and come back. Okay, we're ready to go. So I've just removed the screws in the chair. This is the accessory access plate. Underneath, you should find it complete. The gasket should go right around and seal up. For the most part, as long as you hand tighten these, you shouldn't really get water in there. But in the event you find it, you can do something like I did, and that is you go to Bunnings and just get this little rubber gasket for like $3. I think it comes in about 3 meters or whatever it is, and you just go around there just to thicken up the gasket. And now when I actually wash the kayak, even if the hose is directed straight at it, there is zero water getting in, which is an easy fix for $3 if that's a problem. Obviously, same thing for the front and the rear. One thing I would advise, when you pick up your kayaks, you'll find that these nuts and bolts aren't completely screwed, hand tightened. Some might be, some won't be. And so what I do is when I pick up my kayak, I make sure to hand tighten all of these just to make it better to preventing any water from seeping in slowly, because water will get into any kind of crack. So if you can tighten those, it will definitely minimize anything from getting in. I went out the other day and then I came home and washed the kayak, and since doing these little tweaks, I don't get a drop inside the hole at all. So it is that good once you've done it correctly. So if it's a negative, the negative would be that you might have to do a little bit of a go around when you first get your kayak, and you might thicken up some gaskets. That's if you're the kind of person that goes through much choppy water, just to prevent water from getting in. Same thing with the back here. I hand tightened all of those, and that also just makes sure that water can't get in and through and under there. So that's that. So I wonder if I'm missing anything. Just trying to look and remember if there's anything else to mention. Oh yes, I just remembered. So if you are planning on taking your pedal drive, your max drive that it comes with, out and you decide to do what I did, and that is put an electric motor here on your rear, what happens, and maybe it had something to do with my body weight, which 105 kilos, it was definitely loaded up, that with the battery and the gear. But I found that when I was full tilt going into any kind of choppy weather or going against the current, water would start to come up a little bit through here and then make its way to the back here. Just because it was never really designed to do that with the pedal pod. What I did to counter that is I got myself the other pod, which is called the brag mat pod, and it literally closes this entire area off and no water can come up and through. So that would be something to consider if you go that way. But look, all in all, there is 0 deal breakers that I've found with the kayak. Absolutely love it. It's huge. It's a really big kayak. You can buy awesome aftermarket accessories like these bar rail systems and spacers to put in there just to jack it up. You can buy the foot pedals for foot steering if you decide to put a motor on the back. There's just so much you can do to customize your kayak. I mean, look at this. It's like a beautiful work of art. I absolutely love the design. Speaking of the design, the good thing I found and why I've always stuck with Kayaks2fish is since they started doing the 11.5 from memory, they ended up doing their own design. This isn't something that they purchased someone else's mold rights and started using it. This is their own design that they've engineered and done themselves based on the information that they've received from their clientele base. And so they've created what they felt was what the customer was looking for. So ideally, I absolutely love it because it is fully tricked out and I guess kayak fishing ready for those who are, kayak fishing enthusiasts. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I didn't mention, obviously you can mount your trolling motor at the front as well. But look guys, this is pretty much it. I just wanted to do a all-in-all video over 12 months. I've used it at least 30 times and I've got to say it is definitely a cut above the rest. Value for money, you're never going to find anything that comes close to this kayak, the NextGen 12. I hope this helps anyone that might be interested. Anyway, if you have any comments, don't hesitate to shoot me a comment in the comment section. And as always, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, as it really does help with the algorithm of our channel. Anyway, we'll see you on the next video.